That's one Hello! Thank you very much, charmed, delighted, wonderful. We are in the process of doing it very... Right, yeah, in front of your very eyes. A small feathered contraption feathered by fear. The young lady, or at least the old lady, very old. Standing before you now, Britannia, pomp and pride of British Empire. She sinks slowly on the waves, on a small pair of water wings, rushes for enlightenment, grabs a trolley in the supermarket marked Chariot of the Gods, hurtles down the passageway, grabs a few Buddha biscuits, Krishna cookies, and a small helping of Jesus jumpers. And all of these packets she eats quickly at home until fully masticated and spits them out into a large balloon which grows considerably larger. So large that it's big enough for her to pull a little blunt pocket knife and slit a hole in the bottom, pouring the entire contents onto a small piece of manuscript paper, which when rotated at a speed of 33 1/3 RPM, sound a little like this. We'd like to entertain you with a small dramatic sketch starring Nick the roadie and Michael the bass guitarist. They both rehearsed for 6 months for that little piece. It was titled, What's Happened to My Fucking Lead? That is a buzz. Cost you a half of the total admission price for tonight to buy that buzz. We hope you're enjoying it. Due to popular demand, we present a return fling with the Nick the roadie and Michael Rutherford sketch. You'll notice for an actor, Nick really has a fine dramatic pose. His kneel is really authentic. A careful nod of the head. I don't know what's fucking up with this equipment, he says, casually. Michael said, I don't know what you think, but get the hell on with it. Beautiful piece of knee movement there, casual knee movement, aiming for an imaginary pedal. Ladies and gentlemen, I think you've won yourself a chance to witness one of the great musical delights of the Genesis Ensemble, the world-renowned Phil Collins one-hand-only drum solo. In fact, you'll have a chance to witness that, I'm sure, later on in the evening, because Mr. Michael Rutherford has just dismissed his buzz, and we're off again. Can you tell me where my country lies? Bright a uniform to his true love's eyes. It lies with me, cried the Queen of Maybe, for her merchandise he traded in his price. Piper light, cried a voice in the crowd. Oh man dies, the note he left was signed all Father Thames. It seems he's drowned, sailing England by the hands of hope and glory. Time goes by, it's the time of your life. Easy now, sit you down, chewing through their heavy dreams. They eat without a sound, digesting England like a gun. Young man says you are what you eat well. Old man says you are what you wear, well. You know what you are, you don't give a damn. Bursting your belt, that is your golden shell. The captain leads bombs right out, moving out, going on, forward to the Thank you very much. Marvellous, wonderful, beautiful, lovely to have you all here tonight. The second little story concerns a gentleman called Romeo. Romeo, got it? He had a fungus, a small fungus, but a fungus all the same, hovering above his knees and below his waist. And the fungus either moved with tremendous courage and stuck it in the oven where he kept it for 2 weeks. 2 weeks later, the fungus had changed colour to a deep maroon colour. And maroon fungus was crumpled up in his fingers to powder form and stuck in between his lips and produced in Romeo a high degree of sexual excitation. The moving hand, you may have noticed, a moving hand, is in fact a subtle piece of symbolism for the events that have just taken place in the story. Subtle pieces of symbolism, as some of you in our audience may well appreciate, can become extremely towering, carried around for long periods. And it was very fortunate for our hero Romeo, that just around the corner on a balcony was sweet little Juliet singing sweetly to herself, not unlike this. Our hero was much moved by this little singing on the balcony. So moved that he grabbed the young lady and took her off into the darkness of the cinema, where what went on was described briefly as the cinema show. Ladies and gentlemen, seeing how our little acting sketches are going down so well tonight, we've decided to introduce a cast of 3 for this last sketch. A sudden visit from Jeff accompanied Nick and Mike on that last little bit. Touching, wasn't it? Meanwhile, back to the cinema show.
The stair with head held high and floral tall, a weekend millionaire. I will make my bed with her tonight, he cries, and he fell on with his child surprise. Take a little trip back with Father Tiresias. Listen to the old man speak of all he has lived through. I lost between the poles. There's no mystery. Once a man the sea I raged. Once a woman, not tears in the cave. There was a fight over by the sea.
dee-dum, when the sun beats down and they lay on the bench, I can always hear that talk. There's always been helpful. She can wake up, we got the tiny room now. And then Mr. Lewis, wasn't the time when he was out on his own.
Feeling a little thirsty on our way here. Very thirsty. We pulled some human bodies from out of their packets and put them on the railway carriage floor. in a horizontal position to enable us to jump upon them. Because remembering the human body was 98% water, we deduced that if we jumped upon the human body for long enough, we would eventually arrive at a small heap of dust and a clear, cool pool of water suitable for drinking. After several hours, we produced the first pool of clear water on the left-hand side of where the body had lay. No. And we drank the water very eagerly and began on the next, and then the next, and the next. As we were approaching the fifth body, we were beginning to realize that the amount of water we got out of this very lengthy jumping upon process was slightly less than that required to quench our thirst for the jumping upon of the body. And it was at this moment of enlightenment, of realization, that we noticed the pool of water beside the fifth body was very dirty around where the mouth had been, a dirty mouth. And being the body of a Scottish gentleman who used to affectionately refer to his mouth as the Firth, it was the Firth of the Fifth that we started at this one.
By the siren
This ever-continuing sketch on my right. Anyway, April 7, 1896. And the little boy called Henry disappeared behind a small bush and reappeared seconds later for a great historical event, the first recorded streak. And little Henry proceeded rapidly in front of his little croquet partner named Cynthia. She was initially horror-struck and a little later titillated. And she went in pursuit of little Henry with his croquet, with her croquet mallet raised high in the air. My mother does not eat shit.
There is also a bar.
Anyway, little Cynthia, she continued to raise her croquet mallet high in the air and brought it down suddenly. Henry was no more. He was dead, but he rapidly acquired furry little white balls under each armpit, which grew into beautiful white wings, fully deodorized. And the wings he had to flap like hell to get to heaven. A cheap joke. Heaven? The authorities rejected our Henry, and he was sent all the way down again to reappear in an old man's body on the opening of his old musical box.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'd like to apologise for the difficulties we're having with some of the equipment. We continue with the consequences of old Michael and his adventures in the park. He went into the park, and the park looked cool, clean and green, so he took off all his clothes and began to rub his pink flabby flesh into the cool, clean, green grass. It made a little scratching sound upon the hard bristle of the grass, and he accompanied himself with a little tapping of the fingers. Not unlike this. My mother's just gone vegetarian. Beneath the ground, old Michael had caused a bit of chaos because the inhabitants, known merely to us mortals as worms, interpreted the little pitter-patter coming from the surface as meaningful, as meaning rainfall. And rainfall to worms means two things. One, bath time, because as you probably know, worms like to keep very clean. Two, mating time, because as you probably didn't know, worms like to keep very dirty. Within seconds, the entire clean, green, smooth surface of the park was a mass, a sea of dirty, brown, swarming, mating worms. Old Michael continued to rub his pink, flabby flesh into the dirty brown mess, only this time it made a different sound. And he smiled and sung a little tune. Phil. This is it. Such technique, such talent. What a wonderful entertainer.
Those three in ancient time walk beneath those mountains green.
For those of you who may have misread the packaging, that is a traditional English hymn. And up in the sky, this little hymn was interpreted by the birds, thousands and millions of birds, as meaning time for supper is ready, all rice mango.
Bang, 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 bang.
Walking across the sitting room, I turn the television off. Sitting beside you, I look into your eyes as the sound of motor cars fades in the nighttime. I swear I saw your face change. It didn't seem quite right, and it's hello babe with you, guardian ass. Hey, my baby, don't you know our love is true? The moon seems very bright. 6 simply shrouded men move across the lawn slowly. 7 walks in front with a cross held high in hand. And it's hello, babe, your supper's waiting for you. Hey, my baby, don't you know all love is true? I've been so far from here, far from your arms. It's good to feel you again. It's been a long, long time, hasn't it? to our faces when our faces took a rest. We walked across the fields to see the children of the West. We saw a host of dark-skinned warriors standing still below the ground.
Social security took care of his lad. We watch in reverence as Narcissus is turned to a flower.
a man, a British man, Russian man, got a drag. Now, Mr. Prince, the prince was a prick, prick was an egg, the egg was a man.
Follow away, you sweet little thing, roll on your tail.
She was.
They're gonna show you into the being.
Yes! What was the use of my we're doing everything. We've got some in, we've got some out. So everyone died. We changed everyone died. We made them all happy. Still you appear. I'll try. You don't want to eat out. Not too much, too bad, too bad. Too bad in the office, too bad in the office. You're right. And today you're gone. Up to the wash, up to the wash. The eagle eyes, with the best of the eyes. Hey, my baby, don't you know our love is true? I'll be so grateful, you know, you're loving all. As you turn